We don't need to go live.
Hello. Well, we're live
Hello.
anyway. This is episode 24 of On the Game with the Wild Boar. And here with me, as always, is Ben.
Yo.
And in this special March episode, we're going to be talking about the best of 2015.
Last year.
Which was last year. And what's going to be really difficult is that for about half of that year, I was playing one game, which is Metal Gear Solid 5.
Hang on, spoilers. You've ruined it already.
I've ruined everything. Basically, every single category. It's the only. It's won everything. I don't even know if it's the best. I just didn't play anything else. No, we did play other stuff.
Send Sam an email trying to get the episode organised. Right, here's the categories. Let's go through them. Yeah, same game. Every category.
Yeah, exactly. It was, it's quite the experience. That was my 2015. Snake.
Cool. Right, cool.
So
Should we do the news first and then launch into the other shit?
Go on then, hit me.
Right, so Division is out. It's out now.
Supposed to be looking good, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be looking good. I played the beta, pretty cool.
I was there.
You were there.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? You going to get it?
Yeah, I think I'll wait for a bit. But I think it looks quite interesting. So it's made the list, but I don't think I'm going to get it straight away. I've got such a backlog of games I need to get through because of Metal Gear that I will.
I know that a lot of my Destiny mates have gone on to that. So I mean, I'm kind of afraid of it if that's the one they think that is going to be providing them with an every night 4 hours a night type game. But
Jesus.
I hope it's not as deep as that, quite frankly, or as exploitative as Destiny.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does look cool. So that's that. The other thing was Halo are bringing in what was it? So Warzone Firefight. So Firefight is the co-op horde mode type thing that they invented back in like ODST or whatever it was. Really cool. Co-op against a load of kind of spawning enemies. They're now doing that with the Warzone mode, so you'll be in with potentially up to 12 other people against a whole map full of like random enemies going about their business. Pretty cool. That's coming out in a couple of weeks, and it's free. It's a free update.
Nice.
So that is pretty sweet for people that like the multiplayer, which is pretty much what they focused on, because as much as I've played of the story, it is incomprehensible. So yeah, I don't know what's going on about that. The Witness is out. I've been playing a lot of it. Have you played any yet?
No, I'm gonna have to wait until it gets on PS Plus.
That is not going to happen. It's a premium game.
We'll see.
We'll see. You'd be saying we'll see for the next 2 years.
Exactly. That'll probably be about the time where I've got through the backlog and I'm ready to play it.
Okay, fair enough. It is fantastic. I'm going to do a review at some point. I've been streaming an absolute ass load of it. If you've got nothing else to do, guys, watch me be confused by a puzzle live.
Yeah, I mean, I've listened to a lot of people talking about it, but have you completed it?
No, not completed it. I've got
how many hours?
It's tough to say. So I mean, I'd have to look at the YouTube channel to work out how many hours. I'd imagine at least kind of like 20 or 30 hours in. I think from the puzzle count, it gives you a count of puzzles and environmental puzzles and all this kind of stuff. I think I'm about halfway through. I think.
Right.
But it's now to the point where the availability of the puzzles and they're a bit more sparse and a bit more spread out. And then when you get to one that you haven't found out about yet, you get there and you're like, oh my god, new puzzle. And you look at it and you think you know all the rules, and then you're like, what's going on? And the game constantly does it to you, and it's amazing. It is. I don't know what kind of brains they've got over there, but it is seriously impressive that they can, the way they've designed a puzzle game. But we can come on to that another time.
Hey guys, what kind of brains have you got in there? Human ones?
Yeah,
But
I mean,
what can't?
just tell me. They're probably all people on that Undateable show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't laugh at that. If there's one thing that Undateable has taught me, it's that we're all human and we all have the same brain.
Hmm.
Well, actually, it's a lie. We don't all have the same brain.
Do you laugh at that show?
Come on, that's not fair. You can't don't fucking get this on record. Yeah, of course, but like it's all good humoured. It's not.
I haven't seen it. I'm just winding you up for the sake of it. But is it?
It's working. It is funny, yeah, but it's done in a very sweet way.
Okay.
That's
so
why
it's not,
it does toe that line where you're like, am I just laughing?
am I being mean, kind of thing?
Yeah, but they've done it in such a way and they've edited in such a way that they know it's funny. They're trying to make you laugh, but it's all like, it's all just quality like light, like Mr. Magoo type.
All right.
Don't
Light
laugh.
entertainment.
Blind.
Whoa. Whoa.
Well, it's not like entertainment because it actually does get really serious quite often.
Oh.
That's why I quite like it.
Well, I'm confused.
God. This is not like a midnight conversation to be having.
Well, anyway, right. So the final bit of news is there was an announcement on PSN that No Man's Sky is going to be $60 or £40 or whatever you want to call it. And the internet lost its shit about the age-old thing of, well, how can a game made by 12 people be quotation fingers full price?
Yeah.
And
probably because it's infinitely long or whatever.
Yeah, it's infinitely long, and if they've designed it to be a full price game, then that's their decision, isn't it? I mean, I don't really get it. Like, I mean,
well, don't get it. Don't buy it if you don't want to pay for it.
Yeah, exactly. Just see the reviews. Wait till the reviews are out, because that's what they're for, and see what the impressions are. And then if you feel like you might get, 40 or 60 pounds or dollars out of it, then go for it. But people that kind of equate it to, what would you say, like, oh, Call of Duty is a $60 game or £40 game, yeah, that's worth it. Well, I haven't even, no one's played No Man's Sky, but I can pretty much guarantee that it's going to be more entertaining than that last fucking pile of shit Call of Duty game.
I've just completed it.
I thought it was one of the worst things I've gone through in a long time, I think.
Like, we'll talk about this properly in the next
podcast, but it was just
overall.
People that compare price to game I think it's idiotic, especially in this scenario. Anyway.
But yeah, I was going to say I agree, that was probably the worst Call of Duty game, at least campaign anyway, that I've probably ever played. Like, at least with the other ones, I kind of knew what was going on in a very roundabout way. But this one, I literally had absolutely no idea what the fuck was going on. But that's what I'll say about that. But
yeah, for another time. Anyway, so 2015, the year that was. Right, what we're going to start with, we are going to start with random topics. Sam, what was, in one answer or less, your favorite multiplayer game?
My favorite multiplayer game, I would have to say that for me it was Rocket League, which to this day, and when I say to this day, I literally mean today, because I bought the new Batmobile car, which is Rocket League.
What era Batmobile are we talking? Are we talking Adam West 60s type thing? No,
it's obviously because the Batman Superman. It's
Ben Affleck Batmobile.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Which is right. So favorite multiplayer for me by far was Rocket League. It's just you drop in like pretty much immediately. It's really great fun. I mean, I'm even thinking about it. I'm like, I feel like playing it again right now, even talking about it.
I think when we play together, hang on, that sounds wrong. When we play Rocket League together, you're constantly, like, seriously, because we're always losing when I'm on the team, but you're going seriously.
I'm on a massive losing streak now anyway, by the way, so it's fine.
we're not leaving it like that. One more game. I'm like,
Yeah.
we're just gonna get thrashed again. Right, one more game. I'm tired. I can't open my eyes. One more game.
One more.
One more game. One more game. We're not going out like this. And then we win, and you're like, seriously, we're on a roll. One more game.
And that is my addictive personality, which is why I lose a ton of money sometimes on poker. Never know when to quit.
Nice.
But yeah, it's
yeah,
really
cool.
good. What about you?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that runs my eventual winner very close. I mean, I think for pure fun to this day, Rocket League probably just about pips it, but I think I probably have to go with Destiny. I've put so many hours in 2015 multiplayer, and it's a chore, but also at times it was fucking amazing, like really, really, really good. But I've weaned myself off it. I can look back at that now as a recovering, recovered.
Yeah.
I don't know, who knows? And maybe I'm looking rose-tinted glasses at the kind of ignoring the exploitative, RNG type drop shit that goes on. But no, it's cool. It's really good. Like the co-op, the teamwork, all that. That's wicked.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're saying Destiny, are you?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Destiny.
Okay, so we'll miss players. Therefore, we've said a Rocket League / Destiny.
Sure. Right. So, best indie game.
Yeah, go on. You start.
Yeah. So I could have had a couple of things, but I wasn't sure where Towerfall kind of came in all this. I wasn't sure whether that. I mean, that technically could be best multiplayer, but I didn't play a load of it. So I'll probably go with Grow Home. I think that was such an interesting game. It's really short. It's just completely unique. Quite enjoyed it.
Yeah. I know we've talked. This isn't the first time we've talked about it, but I think I'm going to swap it for. Swap it. So initially, I was like, oh, I don't know, maybe Life is Strange, but then I was like, is that indie? I mean, it's Square, but and then you were saying about Grow Home. I didn't actually play it. I kind of watched you play it, and I didn't really. I did play it for a little bit, I think, but it didn't really grab me literally. But I think it might be the Swapper. Is that? I know it was released PS4 2015.
Yeah, I don't know. That's cool though. It's a good game. Really interesting.
But I just loved the puzzles and stuff. And I pretty much, as soon as I picked it up, didn't really put it back down again. So I'm gonna pick the Swapper.
Cool. So lead straight into best episodic game 2015. What are you going with?
Life is. I want to say Life is Strange, but for me, it's really tough. It's either between that or Tales from the Borderlands.
Okay. I literally just completed Life is Strange. I had just in 2015, I'd only just got around to doing Wolf Among Us, which I really, really enjoyed, but I kind of appreciate that's not a 2015 game. I'll go with Life is Strange. Really fresh in my mind, but wow, what an interesting game. And for that to come out of, or it's one of those things where it's obviously a major corporation trying to court the kind of indie vibe or that kind of thing, or episodic games, but somehow they got it very, very right. And I've got a few minor gripes with it, but I think it was really unique, really interesting. Voice acting was pretty good, I thought, and it's kind of a nice story, even though it's completely fucked up. Like there's some really dark things in there. Yeah, it was cool. And there's lots of like little nods to stuff like Twin Peaks and all that kind of stuff. I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's weird because like as much as I love Tales from the Borderlands, it was very much, I mean, on purpose, like cartoony, fun, and all this stuff, which is great, and I loved it. But Life is Strange just hit more of a deeper. I got more out of it, basically.
Yeah, you end up caring for the. Sound like a complete, No,
but you do. It really
end up caring for the characters, but it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was saying. If you remember at the time, actually, when we did talk about it, I was like, I came out like really, feeling like this character that's been through all this stuff. Who's a fucking teenage high school girl, and I'm a mid-30s British male.
I think the thing. I mean, not as a criticism, but as in just something that I kind of noticed is it kind of gives you a choice as to whether you're going to go like one of your romance choices are. I mean, there's literally a binary choice of the guy Warren or the girl Chloe, but they never really. No matter what you, I mean, I've read up about it now, as in the alternate choices and stuff. It doesn't really change the game that much, which is kind of clever in the whole game design thing, that you can have these choices that have these profound effects on all the characters, but the actual kind of story pretty much goes more or less as is. I don't think there's a load of different endings. There's 2 different endings, but your choices in the who you grow close to in the game, they don't really affect
No, I mean they never do
the game too much, but which is quite clever, because you feel like every decision, and they let you know the really important ones when they're there. You feel like you're almost pushed to Chloe because they're giving her so much more screen time and she's involved in the story, whereas Warren is, he is a side character. He's almost added in. I mean, I suppose he's an important character and he seems like a cool guy and everything, but as in like a nice person kind of thing, but as in he's not really that involved. Yeah, I don't know. It comes like kind of pushing you down a route, but I mean, it's fine. It's fine. It's
fine. Just before let's try not to spoil this as much as possible, but did you go for the short ending? I mean, obviously you don't know this until you've picked it. The short ending or the long ending?
I don't understand the question.
There's basically 2 endings for the end of the whole Life is Strange game.
Okay, so
if you remember, I picked
and just a spoiler warning.
Okay, spoilers.
Skip ahead like
a minute or 2. So when you
sacrifice
have to pick
the town to save Chloe.
Yeah, and then you go.
See you later.
Yeah, so that's what I did, right? That's basically a bad ending.
Right. Okay.
If you Google and YouTube the other ending,
right,
it's like 10 minutes long. It has like the Foles song Spanish Sahara, which I love anyway. Fucking great soundtrack generally.
Yeah.
And it's more. You're like, oh, that's the real ending. Like that's the ending it should have been. And I would watch that as soon as we stop this if I was you, because it's
I would do. Yeah,
it did affect like my in a good way. It affected what I thought of the game.
The thing is, in the last chapter, continued spoilers, guys. If you've just picked up here, carry on.
All spoilers.
In the last chapter, the hurricane or the tornado is still demolishing the town. There's a few like randoms that have been taken out, but by and large, all of the characters are still alive and hiding in one place or another, right? So the way I saw it was, well, they're all either on their way out and evacuating, or they're holed up, in which case they're going to be fine. So I'm just going to go off with Chloe. See you later, right? Not an issue. But the way they kind of paint it is that everybody's dead, which is kind of what you. I don't know. It's a bit confusing, but it's cool. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, it got pretty fucked, basically.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but there's some really dark stuff that happens in that game. Like, I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah.
For a game for a game where you start the. I mean, I suppose halfway into the first chapter, there's spoilers. There's that thing that happens in the loos, right? Like an attempted murder. So you're kind of thinking, okay, well, it's not completely teen angst. There's stuff going on here, but wow, it definitely cranks up a notch in terms of darkness. That's mad.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing, spoiler, is when you find out who the bad guy is.
Yeah.
I'm just
that's an absolute twist, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly didn't expect it, but also once it did happen, I did feel a little bit like, why is he hamming it up? Like, it felt like, I mean, I liked it, but at the same time, it's like.
But I think they did do quite a good job in misdirecting your hatred towards other characters.
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
I think that's quite key to the whole thing. Yeah, it was good. So for me, best episodic. Right, what is next? So, quick one, relatively quick. Most time wasted on.
Yeah, go on then. You
Well, Destiny next.
wasted. Yeah, which is fair enough, and I think that would have been it if we had to pick one. But I didn't really play that much of Destiny, so maybe it was an entire waste. So maybe I could also say that. I don't know. I'd probably say something like Mad Max, which, you know, classic sandbox, open world, and I enjoyed it. But essentially, I was like, ugh, like come on, it's not fun anymore. I mean, you could say Metal Gear as well, but so yeah, I'm happy for Destiny to take that if we have to pick one.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's the point. We should be. Well, I don't mind us having different opinions. Hey, that's life. So right. So I think I've changed my answer on this. I've just become more angry about something else now.
All right.
Standard. So I think we go with most overhyped as a game.
Yeah.
I think the runner-up for me, anyway, and the previous choice was Halo 5. I think all of the marketing spiel was, you know, focused on Locke versus Chief and which version of the truth are you are you going to believe? And there was a whole serial-style podcast. Which is weird because I listened to the Hunt the Truth podcast, which is the Halo one, before I started listening to Serial, and it is lock, stock, and barrel format copy of Serial. It's done exactly in the same way, about investigating all the kind of, you know, additional universe of Halo and what's going on behind the game before Halo 5 starts. So you have all this kind of thing as to what's happening, and then just like Halo 4, the plot is fucking incomprehensible. I mean, it's relatively simple in the sense of you can know that Locke's trying to chase Chief down, but there's not really much explanation as to where all these other Spartans came from. I don't get it at all. And then, yeah, and as far as I've seen, it does the whole battle thing doesn't really actually happen. Anyway, the main reason I would say it's massively overhyped is that it doesn't feel like Halo to me anymore. I know that they've focused on the multiplayer, and that, I mean, when I've played that, it's cool, but the actual game itself doesn't handle the way that Halo does, or in my memory anyway. So maybe that's just me being spoiled by having played Destiny for so long, and I'm now used to that, and I've moved to that or something. But I don't think the last two Halo games have been very good. So I mean, that's that. I also think the thing I'm a bit annoyed about is Battlefront. I think that's just a steaming pile of turd.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
I don't know. I
wouldn't say somewhere in there.
I wouldn't say that's the most. I mean, it was hyped, but I did kind of expect it, especially when we played the. Is it us? Or maybe it's been someone else. We played the demo thingy. I was like, this is going to be the game. Like, this isn't just like, here's a small, you know, vertical slice or whatever. It's like, I feel like this is the game, and it was. Yeah, I mean, for me, Halo 5 was pretty bad. So I'm quite. So you're saying Battlefront?
I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of on the fence. So whatever we want to go with, let's go with Halo.
Maybe let's say Halo. Fuck it.
Cool. So next one, we'll go with. Well, we'll finish off the positive ones. So, honorable mentions. So, your three games you think that aren't your favorites of 2015, but are kind of, you know, in the running.
Yeah, go on. You start.
Well, I'll start with classic Ben choice of Sherlock Holmes: Crimes and Punishments. Another one from Frogware Interactive, like Ukrainian studio. They're churning them out because there's another one coming in a month or two. It's just great. I mean, it's definitely got problems, and there are some really clunky, design decisions. But in this version, there's a whole kind of like, almost like mind mapping, kind of like evidence pairing, and all this kind of stuff. And you can willingly frame innocent people if you want to, if you're that much of an arsehole. And I just really enjoyed it. It's cool. There was one case where the evidence led you down the wrong path, and it was just generally didn't make logical sense. And I'm not the only person, before you say that, to think that. Okay. But the other, I mean, there's like 6 cases, so I think it's, I mean, in terms of like, you know, value for money, it's fucking fantastic. It's good game. How about you?
Good game.
Good game.
I mean, I've got a couple. I mean, can I pick one, or
Well,
can I
you just go
just?
for it, yeah, whatever you want.
I think weirdly, honorable mention. One of them would be Hacknet, which is a really weird game I played on my laptop, which I just heard some. I think it was Bombcast or whatever were talking about it, and I was like, that sounds interesting. And do you know anything about it? Have I spoken
I've
about it
not
before?
actually
I don't
heard of
think.
it.
Okay, so basically, what it is that it's a game where you are literally hacking into ports and all this stuff, but it does it through its own user interface. So that if people was like looking over your shoulder, which they do, like when I'm on the train and stuff and I'm actually playing it, it looks like it's its own thing. I mean, obviously it's just a game screen, whatever. But it and the thing is that you have like a command, prompt like you would like with DOS or something, and you type things in to get into different places and stuff. You can use a mouse, but it gets to a point where you just learn the shortcut things, and so you're just like typing away. So for anyone that's like not familiar and doesn't know the game basically, and they're just watching it, you do literally look like you're a hacker, kind of hacking into stuff. And it looks like
what's it called?
It's just called Hacknet. It's in
cool.
Hacknet. And I didn't complete it in the end. There was like, it got to a point where it's when it gets like to things where you have to start like remembering like loads of commands, and you've got to do it in a certain time frame. And I lost out on a couple of them, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm saturated. Like I've had enough. I don't need to. Like, how much further is this game? It's not going to suddenly. I mean, maybe it does, but it's not suddenly going to turn a corner or whatever, and all of a sudden you're, it's going to change or anything like that. It's pretty much the same kind of thing again and again. I mean, but there's cool bits where like someone hacks into your computer. I mean, not literally. Obviously, it's all part of the game. And then you go into like some weird like boot mode essentially, and you have to like it doesn't tell you what to do. You just basically have to kind of figure it out, and so you have to copy the boot interface from another computer which you'd already hacked into earlier, and all this stuff, and you've got to think about what RAM you're using to do certain security protocols and all this stuff. And it sounds really complicated, but it's not really. Like, it does get complicated by a little bit by the end, but essentially it's the same thing.
Okay, cool. No, that's cool. Anything else?
Tomb Raider's really good.
Oh, wicked. Yeah, I need to play that at some point, but I haven't played the first one, so that's cool. I would say Rare Replay is well worth £20 of anyone's money, because there's so much in there. You can just dip in and out. There's multiplayer games on there. There's stuff you remember from a kid. There's newer Rare stuff. It is a fantastic piece of fan service for, and if you wait for the spring sale, it'll probably be down to like £13. That's how much I bought it for at Christmas. Really, really good. Really good.
Yeah, I mean, which is fair enough. I haven't played it, but yeah. The only other thing, a couple more, is I should say The Witcher 3. I didn't, I played it for a little while. I just haven't completed it. Nothing against it. It won best game of the year at a lot of places. So I kind of feel like I should give it an honorable mention. Just haven't completed it or played it enough to warrant making it like a winner of whatever category, which people might get angry about for anyone who listens. But if you haven't played it, there's not much I can do about it. To be honest. But one I thought key honorable mention was Until Dawn, which I really enjoyed it. It was a really good great horror game, and it's very rare that you get a good horror game. It's very rare you get a good horror anything these days. Everything's just so fucking overproduced and shit. Do you know what I mean? And it's not actually. And even this, it wasn't like scary. It just had some really great moments. I just enjoyed it as a game, so it's pretty good. I mean, what else? I think that's probably it.
I had something, I've absolutely 100% forgotten it, and I can't remember. I cannot remember it for the life of me what it was. Another honourable mention is Ori and the Blind Forest. Really enjoyed
Yeah,
that.
still like
That's
I
really
haven't
cool.
touched that properly.
Beautiful, beautiful game.
I think I've just got a problem with save points.
Oh no, that was what it was.
Cool.
Her Story.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, really interesting. You can play it on your iPad. I don't know if it's on Android tab or anything yet.
It must be surely. But yeah, okay.
Yeah, really, really, really cool. I haven't seen a game like that before. So you kind of operating a like desktop computer running a really, really basic like version of Windows 3 or whatever, and you use your job to move the video windows and the the library windows and the notes and all this around the screen, and you just basically watch hundreds of different videos and type in search parameters and tags and all this of a girl's interrogation for a murder, and you've got to go try and get to the bottom of it, and it's really good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool. Right. So your favorite game of 2015?
So I mean, this was it's tough because I kind of have to play. I have to pick Metal Gear just because it was the best game that I played last year, I think. But it's because it felt like it was the only game that I played last year as well, I think.
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, I won't go. We need to have a proper chat about Metal Gear anyway. But
sorry,
you're right. But like, obviously, massive game. Like, systematically, it's really great. It does have a lot of flaws, I reckon, and it is way, way too long to what it needs to be. Story-wise, it's not great. But
it kept you coming back.
Yeah, exactly. I kept playing it, and so I don't think it's tough. I think it would definitely have been my top game had it not been for like a couple of bits, but you can't take away from the fact that it's just a fucking, amazing just piece of work, and it just in and by itself. So yeah, I'm gonna say that, but it's not like I'm married to it.
I understand if someone... I have spent more time with it than my fiance.
Yeah, than anything. Yeah, exactly. But like, I can't remember what you were thinking of choosing, but if you said it's whatever, I'm not gonna like be like, okay, no, it has to be Metal Gear, because I'm like, Metal Gear is flawed and it could easily not be the best.
Well, I'm gonna go with something that probably,
Her Story.
No, yeah, I'm gonna go with something that's probably not technically the best or most impressive game of the year in any way, but I did probably have the most fun or consistent fun with it,
and
it's Just Cause 3.
Okay, that is
it is just stupid. It's stupid fun.
Yeah,
it's really enjoyable. You don't have to really think about it. It's kind of finally the game that the first two should have been, really, to be honest. I thought the first one was good, but it was just too much of it, and they didn't really have a way for you to speed around the place. The second one was just, there was too many things wrong, and this one they seem to have got the with the wingsuit. You can the movement is a lot better. The hijacking is a lot better. There's no pressure to be using the cars and the bikes and the boats and all that. It's really just flying around on a parachute and a wingsuit and in helicopters, and there's fast travel and all that. And then just the core thing of just blowing everything inside up. It's good fun. I like it. I mean, there are points where it gets repetitive, sure, but it's not that long that it outstays its welcome. I mean, you can stand there and do 1,000,001 challenges, and the load times and the occasional frame rate stutters and the crashes are all things that count against it as being a perfect game. But it is just enjoyable. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because for that same reason, I'm like, man, I just really like Rocket League, and it feels like to compare like Rocket League with something like Metal Gear Solid 5, which is like some fucking epic Shakespearean type of like game. But yeah, I mean, Rocket League is really fun. Like, if you turned around to me and said Rocket League was my game of the year, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah,
cool.
I think it's
the same reason.
I think it stands a chance. It's refreshingly it's it's just a refreshing game, right? So I'm getting my fucking words all mixed up. But in terms of most people got it for free, but they're all still playing it and enjoying it. Although obviously some of the population has gone because we now get thrashed every time we go on there. But actually, maybe it's an idea to play it on Xbox where there are more noobs because it's only just come out. But on PlayStation, lots of people didn't actually buy it; they got it for free as part of PSN.
I did.
Lots of people are also still taking up the DLC. The £1.99 or whatever they are. Like what are they? £2.99, £3.99?
Yeah, £1.69. Batmobile one cost me, for instance. I think I've got the DeLorean as well, which is the same.
So people are buying that kind of like DLC, and that's keeping it going, and it's really cool. Again, refreshing, just a kind of simple idea done well. And Just Cause 3, it's slightly more complicated than that, but I think the thing for me as well, coming from the feeling of being abused, like in a kind of abusive relationship by Destiny kind of thing, like you just feel I know it's a late
I was abused.
Confessional
Jesus.
DDC. It's you just kind of respect your time. Occasionally there's a little bit of too much, kind of like this town needs liberating, but you can go about it however you want, and you can have fun, and it's just you can just go, right, fine, I've done that, I've blown the shit out of that, turn it off, done. And it's not making you do it, you can just turn it off. It's great. I like it.
Yeah.
So
cool. Just Cause 3 is yours. I have to say Metal Gear's mine. But fair enough.
Biggest disappointment. We're on to the fun stuff now.
So I mean, Evolve was a really Evolve was a huge disappointment. It wasn't what I was going to start with. I was going to start with Battlefront, but I said Evolve. So Battlefront was a huge disappointment, but it still kind of did the very basic fundamental thing of what
scratched the itch, didn't it, for a short while. But I think it's just so light on content and such a kind of exploitative game. I mean, people talking about No Man's Sky being worth $60, £40, whatever, and then they're happy to spend that on on Battlefront and a 20 quid season pass or whatever it is, 30 quid season pass.
Oh, it's just so stinks of
kidding, because that's a game that's regardless of, no one knows enough about No Man's Sky yet to judge, or other comparable games. Let's say like The Witness, people for a shit fit about the pricing of that because it was £30, but there's more original thought that's gone into The Witness than there's even touched Battlefront, and it's probably made by a team of about 20 times the size. And Battlefront is just like a half-finished game. There's not enough there. There's no campaign.
Well, it's such a weird game.
80% of the game modes are just weird or not fun, on basically unplayable. I mean, why would you bother with half of them, or at least half of them? So it's just like a half-finished game. Why would you bother? I mean, it annoys me, and I'm gonna take it in to trade in because I actually had the foresight to buy on disc rather than buy it digitally. Absolutely not worth it. Right. Oh yeah. So
I mean, I was going to say,
I would also go for Battlefront.
Battlefront, fair enough. And the other things that I was thinking of was maybe Evolve. Yeah, but then I didn't actually
DLC and all that kind of stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I didn't actually I played the demo of Evolve, and I was like, wow, in theory this game should be great, and this is really, really, really bad.
I mean, I liked it when I played it, but once I saw the way it was kind of carved up for pricing and DLC and all the different packages and the pre-orders and season pass and all this shit, it just turned me off of it. And it's sad when a publisher does that to a game and to the developers' work, but ultimately, well, do the developers have absolutely no say in it? I don't think they do. I mean, I'm sure the publisher has more say than you'd want them to, but if the developer didn't want to go with it, then
I mean, it's just greed. But okay, let's just say Battlefront is the biggest disappointment.
Okay, well, so
Congratulations.
Congratulations, biggest. You've disappointed. We're not mad. Although we are mad, but
Like,
we are definitely disappointed.
yeah, exactly. Like I am in my mother's eyes.
Yeah.
In the big stuff, Battlefront is the biggest
Hello?
disappointment of
Is it a bit
2015.
late for you?
Yeah, so it's a bit late. My brain isn't making wordsies.
Right. Okay. This is something where we agree on, at
Go
least
on.
on one of them. So, worst game of 2015.
Yeah,
Big
Battlefront.
big
Go
category.
on. Yeah.
So
No, there's.
I'm gonna go
Go
with a game we both played and we've
Yeah.
yet to review on. We might have done a
No, we think we
podcast
reviewed it.
discussion on. We're going to do something video
Yeah.
based on it. It's been nominated for several video game BAFTAs.
Oh my god.
It is Everybody's Gone to the Rapture.
Everybody's fucked off to the Rapture and nobody cares. It's what that game should have been called.
Everybody's taking a slow walk through a pretty village.
Everybody's gone mad who likes this game.
Right. So it's safe to say I think we agree on that.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I mean, fair play. Yeah. Knock yourself out and play it. There's no gameplay in there. I don't get it. You walk. There's a run button where you don't actually go any faster, or perceivably. Maybe it's my eyesight. It still takes you 44 years to fucking walk from one village to one side of the village to the other. The only gameplay is, well, you can call it gameplay, is not. It's the same thing as finding Assassin's Creed feathers, as in you have to find additional radios and like walkie-talkies for additional story, and then you have to like shake your controller. Oh, motion controls, yay! To activate and chase around these fucking orbs to give you the story. And when you do that and you chase these things through the fields and eventually you activate them, it'll give you a 10-second clip of like a 90-year-old nagging at the local vicar about the local afternoon tea being ruined by gossip or something. And it's really, really hard to care, especially when one of the two main characters, the English scientist, is the only way I can say it, he's an absolute dick, isn't he?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't get it, but you know, my advice would be stay away, but at least make your own mind up, I suppose. If it comes on PSN, then PS Plus, then get it. But definitely,
it's just so boring.
Definitely take advice if you're thinking of spending money on it, like I did.
Like, feel free. I mean, because I streamed it, so if people are that bothered, just kind of go through, and you'll get a hint of how it looks out. But like, there was one bit with a I don't know, like a fucking lighthouse or something, which is basically almost like a game-breaking bug. I couldn't figure out, and I never did. I just basically had to kind of walk past the area and keep going to get the story to continue, because I was just like, there's no way I can do whatever it wants me to do, because you need to like unlock certain events in the story which are hard to see anyway. I mean, the fact that it's like all the characters are made of like this gold space dust thing, so you can't differentiate who's who anyway in this multitude of characters in this little town. It's like you're all just blurs of golden light. I've no idea who's fucking who or who's with what. Or you just hear people talking. You're like, who are they? Don't have a clue. It's just so shit. I mean, come on.
No,
it's terrible.
I
so
saw the trailers and the the kind of previewing content, and I thought, oh yeah, this could be quite interesting. But I mean, since I've played that, I've played Gone Home, which is another kind of game that people would describe as a walking simulator, or a like although that's not really correct, is it? But like an interactive drama or whatever the hell you want to call it. And it shits all over Everyone's Gone to the Rapture. It's simple. It's much like
what are the characters?
Yeah, well, we see that's exactly the thing. I mean, almost in the same way as Everyone's Gone to the Rapture, there aren't characters. You're on your own in an empty house, and there is no one else throughout the entirety of the game. But you hear the voice of your sister, and occasionally the parents, and then you basically go around and pick up evidence of, or evidence, but like, you know, artifacts of around the house of what's actually been happening while you've been away for a year.
Yeah.
And it creates so much more of a personal story, and there's so much more kind of even though you are just picking stuff up, there are like little puzzles to be had around the place, like little safe combinations and finding certain secret routes, and, you know, doing all this kind of stuff. But even if there's not that much more in terms of interactivity, it's just so much more of a kind of story it's easier to identify with or kind of feel engaged with, and it's the complete opposite end of the scale from Everyone's Gone to the Rapture. And the other thing is, you're in a house, right? It's a big house, and you've still got, you know, like an ability to like walk faster than you do in Everyone's Gone to the Rapture, and even if you didn't, it wouldn't take you that long to get to the other side of it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's so much better, and it's not as long, and it's just a million times better. So that's my worst game of the year 2015 that I played anyway. And I thought we were going to add a second, and I had something else written down, but I've just upgraded Call of Duty to that list because that was awful. That was absolutely
I mean, that was bad. I mean, it's not Everybody's Gone to the Rapture bad, but it's bad.
Yeah, it's equally as no, sorry, it's not equally anything. It's just equally as bad. It's incomprehensible. I mean, Call of Duty plots are never really, you know, coherent at the best of times, but this is fucking mad. And then it starts getting padded out, and then, you know, you're actually in a dream sequence being attacked by Nazi zombies because they've got a game mode where you get attacked by Nazi zombies, and they're trying to get you to play that inside the main game. I almost vomited on my controller when that happened. I was just disgusted. It was rubbish.
Yeah, it's weird.
I can't even talk straight. It's made me mad.
Yeah, I mean, all that zombie stuff. I was like, oh, Jeff Goldblum and what's his name and everything. I was like, just it's the same thing. It's all right. It's the same as it was like 5 years ago, whatever. Same shit. It's fine. I don't know. But yeah, okay. Worst game. I would still say it's Everybody's Gone to Rapture.
Yeah, agreed. Cool. So we're nearly there. So in terms of industry gripe 2015, what would you go with? What would you change?
I don't know. I can't remember what I put.
Well,
I put something. Oh, you did.
I don't think you did. Right. So I went with pre-orders. I think that's something that needs to be stopped. I mean, I don't think it will, because there's too many people that, you know, buy their early tickets for the hype train and then can't really talk themselves down. But yeah, I mean, if there's an evil in the world that needs dealing with, it is pre-order culture and the kind of bullshit that brings to our lives as gamers. I think.
Well, it's weird because you don't need to pre-order stuff really anymore. It's like, I kind of get it that you want to have it like on day one. That's fine.
The only thing to pre-order is a collector's edition. The only thing, and you know what, you can go and get GTA, you know, every 4 years at a midnight launch, but it's going to be there. It's, you know, gone are the days where there'll be, you know, 200 copies and it'll all be sold out at midnight. You know, you can go to Sainsbury's that morning and get, you know, if you wanted, you could buy 50 copies, no problem.
Yeah.
It's really not an issue. And that's to be said, like, if, you know, what digital, you know, buy it digitally. If you know you're going to like it, or, you know, it's a kind of game with a decent, you know, track record of the developer or the publisher's got a decent track record of not ripping you off. So not Ubisoft or EA, I suppose. Then yeah, buy it digitally and you know, forego the option of trading it in. But then you know, then it's preloaded. You can play it at 12:01.
Yeah, I suppose.
I don't know.
I mean,
Cool.
yeah, I can understand that.
I mean, there's lots of things. Hey, there's lots of things, but
Always.
we'll go with that for now. So we're at the final category, which is picks for 2016. What are you excited about, Sam?
It's a very good point. What am I excited about? Nothing.
Nothing.
I haven't been excited about anything. I mean, I'm basically Uncharted 4, I should say. Definitely. But I kind of want to give it to PlayStation or just VR generally. I know it's not really a pick or there's not a game in particular, but I am really looking forward to this year, just seeing what comes of it, what happens. Yeah. Otherwise, Uncharted 4.
Okay. Well, I've got a few. Luckily, that list is down by one because we've left the 2015 episode so late that one of them is actually now out and I'm playing it, which was The Witness. So
yeah,
that's great. Mirror's Edge, really looking forward to that. Love the first one. Deus Ex, I mean, I've played every single one of them. Absolutely love it. Although, have they delayed that to next year? Oh no, it's August, isn't it? That's when it's delayed to. So yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. Going to enjoy that. And the number one thing I'm looking forward to is No Man's Sky. Can't wait for that. And if they do go ahead and add, compatibility with PlayStation VR, then I think you're getting into kind of game breaking or brain breaking kind of territory, aren't you? I mean, I saw an interview with Sean Murray literally only from last week or something, and he was very non-committal about it, but at the same time as sort of saying, I think the quote was something, it's a really interesting idea and I think it would be really interesting to kind of investigate. And he said that he wants to carry on developing and delivering on No Man's Sky kind of post-release. So yeah, if that is possible, I think that could be huge.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good year this year.
Do you think you're going to buy a VR this year?
I think I might buy the PlayStation VR. I don't think I can afford a Hive or an Oculus.
Well, you need a PC to get it, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, exactly, and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, that's the things that the Sony guys come out and said. There's not going to be like a thing for a particular game, like a must-have game. It's going to be more the experiences and like little short bursts of it and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the right way to do it. I mean, obviously they're being careful and kind of just dipping their toes in, but I mean, it is going to be interesting how it develops because you've got Oculus and Vive like battling it out as PC, as PC platforms, and they're going to be supported by Steam and Windows and all those kind of that kind of whole what do you call it, like ecosystem of software developers and PC games and all that's kind of pre-built for it, whereas the PlayStation solution is going to be half as powerful as Oculus and Vive, or maybe even less than that, because PlayStation 4 and Xbox are already way behind the PCs of this year already. So they're way behind anyway. But then on PlayStation's advantages that, depending on how they price it, they said as much as a existing console. So that could be anywhere from like what, 250 through to about 400 or 500. But it looks like it could be slightly cheaper than Oculus and Vive. Then you don't need a PC to add on to it. You just need a PlayStation, and maybe you already have one.
But it's also supposed to not be that much difference in quality and stuff, right? Like in terms of devices.
I'm not sure about that, but then the other thing is how do you then need to go and buy 2 PlayStation Move controllers and the PlayStation camera in order to be able to like get the motion control paired up with it and all this. So there's a load of stuff that's not really known at the moment. But the big advantage for PlayStation is that they've already got this kind of user base there. There's so many PlayStations sold, or however many it is, and then also the kind of thing of PCs tend to be in offices and bedrooms rather than in like living rooms where consoles are. if you're going to have a VR experience hooked up to, you know, a big TV so other people can share and watch the whole experience and do all this, and you have a bit more room to maneuver if you're playing a walking VR thing, then that's going to be the living room rather than a little office, isn't it? I think that's probably that's a big plus point for Sony.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it'll be yeah, I don't know. We'll wait and see, I suppose.
Cool.
Wait and see. Is that it?
I think that's it.
Our 2015 list. What a year where nothing really happened.
I think it was a really good year, to be fair. There's absolutely shitloads out, and I still haven't played.
Well, it's better than the year before, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I think I still haven't played Metal Gear or Witcher or Fallout. I mean, that's the caveat to that whole list. And I'm kind of waiting for Fallout to have mods on Xbox, and then I'll turn it down to easy and just blast through it. So I can actually do it all in one go, like I've never done with a Bethesda game ever. Yeah. So still stuff to play.
Exactly. And we didn't even talk about Assassin's Creed. So I guess that's it. Thanks for listening. You can follow us at The Wild Boar on Twitter, and you can email us thewildboaruk@gmail.com. It's BORE. Go to the website, wildboar.com, BORE.com. Thanks very much. And yeah, those are your games of 2015. Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, Sam.
Goodbye.
Hiccup.
Sorry, man. I was starting to drift away.